Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the installment of Scott's Selections here for Monday, August 17th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what happened yesterday. We ended up picking up a loss with the San Diego Padres team total over 4.5, which was available at minus 118 on DraftKings. Unfortunately, they ended up with 4 runs despite going 1 for 10 with runners in scoring position, as well as stranding a guy on third base 5 times. It was very close throughout. San Diego did nothing against Robbie Ray. They had 6 walks against him, no hits. I believe San Diego walked 9 times, I think. And at the end, it didn't really matter as San Diego ended up stranding a guy on third base to lose the game. Yep, happens. Summary of baseball. But we're going to be diving into the NBA as the playoffs are finally upon us. The real playoffs, not just the West play-in games. And we're going to be looking at the late-night matchup that's going to take place between the Dallas Mavericks and the Los Angeles Clippers. And for Game 1, we're going to be taking the Clippers -6, which is available at minus 110 on DraftKings. Now, a couple reasons why I like the Clippers in the spot. Some of these reasons might sound extremely similar to what I said about the actual series in that parlay I gave out a couple days ago. But first reason why, Clippers have done really well against Dallas so far in the regular season in the 3 meetings that they had. The Clippers are 3-0 against the Mavericks this season, with 2 of the 3 wins coming by exactly 15 points. They played each other in the bubble once, and the Clippers won by 15. So the Clippers have handled Dallas extremely comfortably so far this season. I expect that trend to continue. Dallas has some issues right now, especially with health, as their star big man, Kristaps Porzingis, is still dealing with a heel issue. Of course, he's going to play, but the question you have to ask is how much of an impact that will have on his game. And I think the fact that the Mavericks were underdogs to begin with, and now that Porzingis is not 100%, definitely is not going to help out, as they're going to need Porzingis to possibly shoot the lights out if they have any shot of winning this game. Main reason, though, that's one reason. Second reason, the issue I have with Dallas is that they can't guard anybody. And if you've looked at the recent performances, they have been one of the worst defensive teams in the bubble, as each of their last 2 games have given up at least 128 points. And in 4 of their last 5 games have given up at least 126 points. So the Clippers should have a field day on offense, picking apart everyone that Dallas has to offer. You have people like Kleber and Hardaway Jr. on the perimeter, even Seth Curry and people. Really nobody can defend. And I simply think the Clippers should be able to pick apart that defense pretty easily every possession. Meanwhile, Dallas relies heavily on 2 guys to produce pretty much all of the offense, with Porzingis and Doncic. I already talked about how Porzingis is injured and how his heel might impact his effectiveness. Doncic, even though he played well against the Clippers in the meeting a week or 2 ago, I'm still a little bit concerned with the fact that Kawhi Leonard and Paul George can just take turns guarding him. I think they should do a pretty good job neutralizing him behind a solid game plan from Doc Rivers. I'm sure he knows that Doncic is really the only threat when it comes to ball handling for the Mavericks, and I simply think that the Clippers are a little bit too deep, especially with Lou Williams now back, and he looks extremely sharp. I know that Montrezl Harrell will be playing in this game, but he hasn't played in the entire bubble, so I would expect him to be a little bit rusty, but to play a couple of minutes here or there. But one potential X factor could be Terrence Mann for the Clippers, especially if Patrick Beverley is unable to go in Game 1, as he's currently being listed as questionable. Mann is a matchup nightmare, and especially as a point guard, he almost had a triple-double in the regular season finale. I think he could provide some very solid minutes off the bench as well. But one thing that's also important to mention is the lack of playoff experience for the Mavericks. You talk about their best 2 players, Doncic and Porzingis. This will be both of their first playoff games in their careers. Porzingis spent a lot of time on the Knicks. They were terrible. Doncic joined the league last year. The team was terrible. So overall, you have a team that has an injured superstar, no real depth, a team that got destroyed by the favorite 3 times in the regular season, as well as a lack of playoff experience, and they're going up against a potential title contender with 2 superstars that have a ton of playoff experience and a much deeper overall roster. So for that reason, I simply think the Clippers should be able to win this game pretty easily. I'm not going to say it's going to turn into a blowout, but I think the Clippers should win by double digits if you want to just break it down. Dallas defensively is so much worse than the Clippers that I really think Dallas can easily give up 120 points in this game, and the Clippers can give up around, I'd say, 108. That'd be my guess for this game. I think it should end somewhere in the realm of 120 to 108. But for me, I'm going to go with the Clippers -6 in Game 1 to get the job done. That's an installment of Scott's Selections here for Monday, August 17th. And good luck to all of you and your respective bets today. Bye, everyone.